Hello everyone, for today's magic card trick tutorial, I thought it'd be neat to share with you a trick that is completely customizable, and I'll get to that during the tutorial portion. But when I was a young kid growing up, it was always hard to find a complete deck of cards, and sometimes we had to mix and match red decks and blue decks in order to come up with one full deck of cards, just because cards would get lost or bent or torn, thrown away, they just disappear. And so we would have to make, one full deck and with what we had, which would be like a red deck and a blue deck. And we would also use cards, to write letters on the back and numbers, because we would use them, sort of as flashcards to learn, while in school, certain letters and numbers of the alphabet, etc. So we would use a deck of cards, interchangeably for learning and, obviously for playing games and magic tricks. But I have one complete full deck of cards. Some have red backs, some have blue backs. And if I just take about half these cards, and I can have a spectator pick any number of cards from either half and turn them face up and then shuffle them into the other deck just like that. So there's no possible way of knowing how many cards are face up and how many cards are face down. And you can do this all day if you want to. You can take cards from that stack now, turn them face up, shuffle them into this stack, and there'll be no way of knowing how many cards are face up, how many cards are face down. And you can do this over and over and over again. Have the spectator do it over and over again as many times as they want until they feel like stopping. And then once they feel like stopping, they can point to either deck that they want, and you can just complete the deck. So you have an unknown amount of cards that are face up and an unknown amount of cards that are face down, an unknown amount of red cards, an unknown amount of blue cards, etc. Now earlier today, I made a prediction. I made a couple predictions, and let's see how my predictions will pan out. Prediction number one, I predicted that there will be 23 face down cards. So if I go through and count the face down cards, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, and look at that, there's 23 face down cards. Now that's pretty good that I made that prediction, and it turned out to be correct, because the spectator could have cut any amount of cards that they wanted from a stack and shuffled them in the other, etc., etc. And it looks like I was correct on that one. Now, my prediction number two was that 11 will be red face cards and 12 will be black face cards. So let's go through and separate them between red and black, and let's see if my prediction was correct on that as well. So we'll separate red cards from black cards, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 cards have red faces. And that would mean that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 cards will be blackface. That was pretty good. That was prediction number two. Now prediction number three, I predicted 9 will be blue back cards and 14 will be red back cards. So now if we take the cards and separate them between red and blue cards, we can see how many have a red back and how many have a blue back, and hopefully my prediction will be correct. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 blue back cards, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 red back cards. It looks like my prediction was correct on that. Now, for my fourth prediction, let's see what that says. My fourth prediction says, Happy New Year, YouTube 2025. Well, let's see. Since these cards all have numbers and letters on the back of them, let's see if I was correct with my prediction here. Let's see, there's a 2. Happy New Year, YouTube. Let's see, Y-O-U. There's 12. It's looking like I may have something here. H-A-P-P. Let's see if there's a Y. There's a Y. Happy. Let's see here. Y-O-U-T-U-B-E. Oh my gosh, look at this. It looks like Happy New Y-O-U-T-U-B. Oh my goodness. New Y-E-A-R. Y-O-U-T-U-B-E. New Y-E-A-R. Look at that. They spell out Happy New Year YouTube 2025. And that's the Poor Man's Deck. And I'd like to, before I show you how to do it, please, as always, like and subscribe to this channel and this video. I really appreciate it. I'd also like to give a shout out to my channel members. I really appreciate you guys. Wish everybody a Happy New Year. This is the first video of the year. I post tutorials usually on Wednesdays in the morning. And if you'd like to be notified whenever a new video is posted, make sure you ring that bell. And now a message from not David Copperfield.
I am not David Copperfield, but I do want you to visit thebestmagicshop.com for awesome new magic tricks, accessories, and more, all at a good price. That's thebestmagicshop.com.
All right, the Poor Man's Deck, the tutorial. Now, I like this trick because it's completely customizable. You can use a regular deck of cards. You don't have to use a mix of red cards and blue cards. You can customize this trick to whatever you want it to do, okay? I just did it since it was the first video of the year. Wanted to wish everybody a Happy New Year. So I had written numbers and come up with the story about the Poor Man's Deck, mixing cards, using flashcards, etc. I like this version because you can customize it to anything. If you're doing like a birthday party, you can say, happy birthday, and then the person's whose birthday's name it is, whatever you want. And then the predictions are completely customizable to whatever amount of cards you pick. So you want to pick about half the cards. So, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29 cards, about half of the deck. It doesn't matter the number that you pick. It's just when you initially cut the deck, you want to cut to the amount of cards that you're going to use for your predictions. So in this case, I used, these 4 predictions. And I used a total of 23 cards because that's what spelled out Happy New Year YouTube 2025. So that was the number I used. But if you use 24, just make sure that your stack has the amount of cards that you're going to write with your predictions. And you can, customize the predictions. Say, there'll be a certain amount of diamonds, a certain amount of clubs, a certain amount of spades, a certain amount of spot cards, a certain amount of face cards. The, possibilities are endless with this trick. So the basic function of this trick is you have the amount of cards that you want your predictions to match, and then just pick one of the cards that you have out of here as like a key card. So in this case, I'll use the Ace of Spades as my key card. And these cards here are just the rest of the cards from the deck. So there's, 23 here, and then there's, a certain amount here, whatever it may be. But you set your deck up to have your predictions, and I put them on the bottom of the deck so you can come out with your story. You can't really shuffle them to start because you have a certain amount of cards that you're going to use for your predictions on the bottom, and then when you show the face cards, I'm looking for my key card, and then that's just where I'll cut the 2 halves of the deck and then go into having the spectator pick any cards from one stack and shuffle them face up into another. Now as long as they pick any number of one stack, turn them face up and then shuffle them into this stack. Okay, and then you can do this as many times as you want. Just make sure that when they pick up cards from one stack, turn them turn them over and before they shuffle, and then shuffle into this pack. And you can do that over and over and over again. It doesn't matter because you're going to still maintain that number of 23 cards in this case that I used for the trick. So it's just, it's very confusing to the spectator on how you've come up with that number, but it's just basically self-working at this point. As long as they cut from one stack, turn them face up, turn them over, and then shuffle, you'll always have that amount of cards. In this case, 23 will be the number. They'll always be face up or face down, okay? So once they're done shuffling, you just have them pick any stack they want, whichever stack they want. Make sure before you put it, you don't just put it on top of this stack, you turn them over and then drop them on. And then now your deck is set to be all mixed up, okay? So now my key cards here, Ace of Spades, my prediction is saying that there will be 23 face down cards. So in order for my prediction to work with the face down cards, I see that my key cards here, so if I were to count these cards out, I would have 23 face up cards instead of 23 face down cards. So I want to make sure that when I square this up and before I show my prediction, I'm just turning the deck over just to make sure that there were 23 face down cards. Now, if I spread the cards out here like this and I don't see my key card, then I know that my cards are going to be 23 face down. So you just go through now once your deck is together, and whatever predictions you have, they'll all come true. So 23 face down cards, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, okay, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. See, now I have 23 face down cards. And since my prediction was with these 23 face down cards, I just take this other stack and put them away. I mean, you can make your predictions which match whatever you have, you know, cards in this stack. In this case, I could say there's an X amount of red and X amount of blue in this one. Okay, it doesn't matter. You've now separated to the cards that you want, though. And we'll just use the face down cards for my other predictions. Then I said, you know, 11 will be red face, 12 will be black face. You can say, you know, a certain amount will be hearts, a certain amount will be clubs, a certain amount will be spades. You know, you can go into more detail if you want. And because of just the self-working nature of this trick, all your predictions will match whatever you've written about these 23 cards, okay? So, you know, 11 will be red face, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And then 12 will be black face, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. These are your 23 cards. You know, 9 will be red back, 9 will be blue back, 9 will be red back, and just in this case, because of my poor man's deck scenario, I mixed red and blue cards. But if you're just using a regular deck of cards, you can say, you know, a certain amount will have, you know, be face cards, a certain amount will be spot cards. You can do that instead of, you know, mixing up a red and blue back card a deck. So, and then the fourth one was the Happy New Year, and then I just wrote letters, you know, on the back of these cards to spell out Happy New Year, YouTube 2025. So you go through and spread it out, but you can write, you know, happy birthday or whatever you want the message to be, and then that'll be the number of your cards. And then just on the other cards, I just wrote just random letters and numbers just to, you know, make it look like it's a complete, you know, alphabet, flashcards, etc., whatever, okay? But now, you know, this deck obviously only has one message to it now, and so, you know, I'm stuck with this one. But if you write happy birthday, and then you can write, you know, the person's birthday number or whatever it may be, okay? And so that's Poor Man's deck. It's, you know, self-working, just as long as you cut right at your key card and just keep these 23 cards or however many you pick, you know, on the bottom half, and then cut right at that half. And then as long as, you know, you flip over, shuffle, and then flip, look for your key card, then you'll know what will match, okay? If you have any questions, let me know, put them in the comments. I appreciate it, and I do respond to comments. So if you're a little confused or whatever, just let me know. I mean, this is a trick that's been done under a bunch of different names by many magicians. So, you know, a lot of them use a bunch of different names for it. So let me know what you think. As always, I appreciate it. Happy New Year, everybody, and until next time.